We're back with another podcast coming at you live through the power of the internet. It is No Sugar, No Cream podcast. And guys, we are so glad you are here with us today. Hopefully you're watching us live on Facebook. If not, we're also on Apple, Spotify, and more podcasts in the future as we grow. But guys, it's Tuesday. No snow on the ground. There might be a little bit of snow just in like shadowy areas. We did get a dusting the other day, but there's probably a good chance we're done for the year. Yeah, very exciting. Tim is just setting up everything here and definitely not pouring himself a cup of Coke Zero. Yeah.
Hey, don't tell what I'm doing off camera.
What? No, I said you definitely weren't pouring a glass of Coke Zero. And then you bring in a glass of Coke Zero, and it looks like I'm lying at the top of this podcast. Tim, everything went smoothly starting the podcast today? Sorry.
No
Tim.
comment.
No comment.
Refer to my lawyer.
Goodness. And the funny part is it went really smoothly. So you could have just said it went smoothly. Tim is so nervous to lie. He's like, wait, did it go smoothly?
Hey, I got a song.
Usually it does not go smoothly and there's some hiccup. But we are on time and still a minute early. Goodness gracious. It's out of control.
It's out of control.
It's out of control, ladies and gentlemen.
So I've been promoting my a song, Tell the Truth. Tell the truth.
And I think he's a liar. You lie.
Well, it's more complicated than that.
Throwback to
My dad.
Grandpa's story.
My dad, yeah.
Good story. I don't know what podcast. Any true watchers would know which podcast it is, but
We need to know what episode.
yeah, we should know what the episode is. That's a good clip. That you should just clip that story.
I should.
I will find that story. Yeah.
I will.
But Tim's done a few clips. There's a couple funny clips out there that Tim have done. That's the funniest one lately. Was Tim? Everything goes smoothly, and Tim's like, yes. It was like, great, Tim. Start the podcast off with a lie. I didn't know you were going to lie right at the beginning of the podcast or something like that. It was funny. It was a good clip. Last night was the college football championship. It was the Irish, which Tim and I got to learn some geography because we did not know where.
So who won? I didn't follow.
Irish.
I didn't follow.
Ohio did win. Yes,
they did.
They destroyed the Notre Dame. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was take away, maybe even take away my, I don't know what card you need to take away.
Yeah, we didn't know that it was in Indiana.
Yeah, it's in Indiana. So my best buddy, Jimmy, lives in Madison, Indiana. Madison's Music City. If anybody's from Indiana and you don't know that Madison is Indiana's Music City. Did I say Madison's? Indiana's Music City, and they have it trademarked.
Right,
the U.S. Patent and Trade.
That's kind of a newer thing, though, right? How long has it been considered the?
Well, they got the trademark, I think, within the last year or so.
Okay, so
Indiana's
a lot of people want to know,
Music City registered trademark,
yeah.
And that's Madison, Indiana, on the Ohio River. And so
Ohio,
I have an apartment there, pied-à-terre. I have a pied-à-terre in Madison, Indiana, and you
have a
there.
number of properties there.
Yes,
apartment would be at the bottom of the list of things you have there.
We have a pizza business there. Anyhow, so I'm learning more about Indiana, and Indiana is quite an amazing state. Has a rich musical heritage. Do you know that the Jackson 5 were from Indiana?
That's great. My main memory of going there was I had to smoke and I had to go to the other side of the river to get my smokes because I have a very bad smoking problem. And there's so much cheaper over there.
Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah,
I had to go across the river, and you took me over there. I got my cigs, smoked a pack or two, and now I'm good.
You're lying. You're lying now.
No, this is my alter ego. Her name is Debra. She's a smoker.
That's funny because I put a pin into where I was because I could get back there. But I don't want to say too much names. But when I first came to Nashville, I used to go to a open mic night with my buddy Mark at the time. He played keyboards. And we made a goal that we were going to do 50 open mic nights. We were pretty much new to Nashville, and we were trying to, get out about and meet as many people we could. And we were going to go to 50 open mic nights, or writers' rounds. So you started open mic nights where you could just show up and sign up and get on. And then as you meet people, you get put on writers' rounds where you get scheduled in. And usually it's 3 or usually 4 people sitting on stools, and they go down the row. You do a song, you do a song, you do a song, you do a song, then go back to the first person, and each person usually does 3 songs. If there's 4 people, each person does 3 songs. If there's 3 people, each person does 4 songs. So 12 songs. Takes about an hour. Anyway, we used to go to this one place. Her name was Debra.
Debra!
And she spoke just like that.
Oh, my. Are you serious?
I
That's
am
hilarious.
serious. And people in Nashville may know who I'm talking about, and I don't mean to throw any shade. But she spoke exactly like that. It was just a horrible, hoarse, nasty voice, and she was mean. And my buddy Mark played keyboards, and when you're playing acoustic guitar and you're setting up, now she's trying to get people on and off the stage, and you come up with the acoustic guitar and you plug it in, and you're ready to go. Keyboard, you got to set it up. You got to bring it on stage. You got to set up your stand. You got to set it on there. You got to plug it in. You got to plug in your expression pedal. And it takes a couple minutes, but it's a lot slower than an acoustic guitar. And she would berate him every time. And he's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a keyboard player. I play keyboards. And she had a nasty personality. I'm sorry. I think she's still doing it. But when you did Debra, and the thing about it is, they said once upon a time, she had one of the most beautiful voices in Nashville. At least what they were saying. So, Sigs apparently did that to her.
You could do it, yeah.
I mean, there are people that may come on the podcast and say they love her because she's beloved by some people, but she also has a bad side, and she was never friendly to me or to Mark. And we went there a number of times because we were trying to get our 50 in, and then you can go there. And I'm not saying what it is, so I'm not incriminating anyone. The only people that know who I'm talking about are ones who know this place.
Man, Tim's trying to get a shot.
Please don't shoot us. You would be exempt because you don't know what I'm talking about. I would be the one that would be shot.
I thought you were going to say I'd be the first one to get shot because I'm the biggest. I'm the biggest target.
I'm going to hide behind you.
Yeah, hide behind me, Tim. I can at least take 5 shots in the gut. They'll remove those things like that. It might take a second to get to them, but...
Anyhow, back to the story. Put a pin in the previous story. So I'm learning about Indiana, and there's a lot of interesting things about Indiana. And I was talking to my buddy Jimmy yesterday, and he said, we're going to become the national champions tonight. And I'm like, I'm a very casual football fan. I've become more knowledgeable because of my nephew, Seth, who watches a lot of football, and I often will join him. And I've seen some wonderful plays and wonderful games. I've seen some amazing things happen. And it's been a very entertaining football season. I don't know. Is this a better, more entertaining season than average, Seth, would you say? I honestly don't know.
No, it always happens. I mean, you've timed some good scenes.
I just happened to come in when some great stuff happened. Like that one where, I don't know, what game was that?
You came down the stairs right when they threw a Hail Mary.
With the time expiring, and they were like, half of the team, both sides were in the end zone trying to get it, and it got deflected up in the air, and there was one guy for the receiving team that was standing there, and it just went up in the air. Boop.
Touchdown.
Just fell into his hands. The gentlest catch ever, because all the momentum was taken out when they tipped it.
Like a little baby.
Yeah. It was like, if he didn't catch that, he should be fired. But I don't even know which team got it, but they won the game. They won the game with that.
That won it. That won it right there.
The game. So that was an amazing play. Anyhow, back to the point of the story. And I'm saying, who's playing? Indiana State? Indiana? And he said, no, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is in Indiana? I mean, before yesterday, if you'd put a gun to my head and said, what state is Notre Dame in? I would have been dead because I never would have guessed Indiana.
Notre Dame.
I don't know why. I didn't know that.
Is Notre Dame a city, or that's just the name of the college, right?
No, it's the name of the college. It's the name of the college. It's in South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, a lot of times, they associate the city or town.
Yeah, but
or
it's a
state
private.
with
It's a Catholic school.
Yeah,
It's
but still,
so it's a private school.
Still, a lot of times
think
they'll
private.
mention. They'll at least mention the city
Not
where
if it's
it
a
is.
private school.
Okay. Give me another
maybe
example.
the city. Okay. There's another place called Hanover. Hanover, which is just next door to Madison. It's a town, and they got a very hoity-toity college there, high prestigious college. I don't mean to be negative.
Hoity-toity.
I mean, it's a very well-known college and very highly
Yes,
regarded. So I don't mean to make any negative aspersions. Mike Pence, our former vice president and former governor of Indiana, went there. Woody Harrelson
Good
went
old
there.
Woody.
Woody went there, and a bunch of other people. And it's an expensive private college, and it's named after the town. So another point to your reference, yeah. But you wouldn't know it's in Indiana. Hanover College, where is that? You wouldn't know. It's in Hanover, Indiana.
I'd say hand over what? Hand over fist. I don't know.
So I learned. I mean, I was yesterday days old when I learned that Notre Dame is in Indiana. Who knew?
Who knew? Well, we got some playoffs this weekend, some NFL going on. Celtics beat my Warriors.
Woo, destroyed!
Tim thought he could rub that in and not get
I never
repercussions
trash
for
talk.
that.
I don't trash talk.
I don't know, but it seemed like some trash talking last night, and I was like, I heard you, Tim. I heard you. I heard you. I got a little bit frustrated.
Well,
It's my
here's the
Warriors.
thing. The Celtics have been I think in 2025 they're 7-7. They're the defending champs, and they've been playing
Wow, that's the first time you've admitted that.
what's that?
That's the first time you've admitted that. They are defending champs. They have had
Why do you say that?
accomplishments.
Okay, why do you say that? Explain to the
Because you're so hard on them. He is the
What
If they don't
okay,
win
what's it
by
like
20,
what's it like watching a Celtics game
Very
with me?
stressful.
And why is that?
Because you have to win by 20 or you're upset a lot of times. If they're not up by at least 10, Tim is on his last nerve, and he's they make it's so funny. It's not stressful. It's kind of become very humorous at this point. But they score, and instead of celebrating it, like, well, we need more of those. Or something, something like that. It's just never good enough. I'm like, gosh, these Celtics, one of these days, they'll have a good run. They'll have a good run. It's been a tough, and I'm a Cowboys fan. There haven't been playoffs practically, or haven't had a Super Bowl since the 90s. It's been 30 years, and Celtics over here with their 25 championships. Well, it's not that many, but what? It's
18.
18. Rounded up, that's 25.
Oh. Okay, let's talk about not Squid Games,
Let's
but
talk
Mr.
about
Beast.
it. Mr. Beast, yeah,
Anyway, before we
yeah,
go there,
yeah.
I want to close that
next
point.
subject. Close that point.
I need to close that point up. So
Close it up.
Not yet. Not yet.
You better close it up, Tim. Wrap it up. Put a bow on it.
So the reason I was so excited yesterday, the Celtics played well, and they have not been playing well for about a month. And even though they're, excuse me, they're talented, and their championship pedigree, just haven't been able to put it all together, and they have played poorly. I mean, they played like a play-in tournament team,
You're
and
right.
they really have. And so finally, that doesn't mean they'll play the next game. They'll probably be. It's like, which team is going to show up? Is it the championship caliber team, or
And
is
they've
it
got
the
their
team?
butts kicked by some
Oh, they
really
have.
crappy teams.
They have, and they've lost close games, and they lost to Atlanta. Now Atlanta is on a tear. Atlanta Hawks. They got Trae Young, and they just fumbled it. They were up by 3 with having like less than 10 seconds left, and we allowed them to score 3, and it went into overtime, and we lost it in overtime. And one of our best clutch players, Drew Holiday, just did an uncharacteristic. He fouled Trae Young with seconds left when he shouldn't have done that, because that gave him 2 free throws. Anyway, so but it's a long season, and they're even talking about it. It's hard to stay motivated, and 3 of the guys played on the Olympics. And so they've been playing basketball since the Paris Olympics. They've had no break. So you go all the way through June to win the championship. And then they went to, so they basically have been playing basketball for like over a year without a break. Normally, you get a break, but they played and won the gold for the Olympics, and all three of them. So they had to go there and go through all that, and then you have a short time off, and then you have preseason. So they're probably tired. They've been playing basketball a long time.
Take a nap right here. Just take a nap.
So it's a long season, and it's hard to stay up. I mean, 82 games in a season, it's really, when you've been playing basketball nonstop for like a year and a half, I suppose it's hard to get motivated, and they're all at a high level. And if you, instead of having your motivation at 100 and you're at 99, you'll get your butts kicked. Because I often say, there's 450 players, theoretically could be 450 players, 30 teams, 15 per, but not every team has a full roster, but could be up to 450 players. And player number one on any given night could be outplayed by player number 450. I mean, it's not going to happen often.
Yeah.
But they're all professionals. And they're all, any player in the NBA is really good. And the distance between, the top 5 and, say, the top 100, especially, so if you got 30 teams, so 150. So you got 150 starters, right? 5 times 30 would be 150. So all those 150 starters, it's really not a huge difference between them on any given night. So it's hard to stay up. And if you're slightly down on your motivation, you will get outplayed. You can be outplayed, not that you will. But so it's a long season. I don't know if the same is I think probably NFL football too, isn't it? I mean, it's hard. But then in football, you only play a game every week. In basketball,
oh my gosh! You're one hit away from being out for the rest of your life.
True. A lot of injuries. True.
A lot of injuries. True. So many.
Anyway.
But, yeah.
So this gave me great pleasure. Mr. Beast games. Are you loving the Mr. Beast games?
Loving it. Man, just the amount of thought that goes into the games. We are just watched episode 6 Thursday. We have another episode coming up Thursday.
It's Netflix, right? Which channel?
Amazon. Amazon gave him $100 million to play with.
And Mr. Beast is just a likable guy.
Very likable guy.
He just seems like a great guy.
Man, anybody that's talking crap about him are just being petty. It's just so annoying. They have nothing to stand on. They just pull crap out of their butt. It's just so. I mean, the amount of stuff that he gives away, and then buy surgeries. Most recently, he just bought a bunch of limbs for people because those things cost anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000, depending on
limbs for people. I mean, some people got 3 arms or 3 legs,
or just one. No, just one. I think most of them were just one legs, one legs and limbs. I don't know.
Bad joke. So he bought limbs for people that was missing a limb.
Yes.
What did I say? Clarifying. You say he bought limbs for people.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
there's a guy, a normal healthy guy, and I want an extra
Mr.
arm.
Beast has
I want
connections.
a third arm. Yeah, give me a third arm.
But yeah, we're watching. It started with 1,000 people. It quickly riddled down just in the first episode to like half that,
almost 500. Yeah, under 500.
Because they had a city. They have like a city thing built, and where they all sleep and everything, and it whittled down to 500. Could only go there. And then they played some games there, and now it's all the way down to 50 something. I think 52. It might be a little lower than that.
Well, they're in the middle of eliminating. They got the 3 different games. You got your game of chance, your game of physical, and your game of mental. And we haven't yet. In the game of chance, they had, I think, 16 people. Mm-hmm. And they spun the dial, and they said,
okay, so there was 60 people left, and they could choose either
on the game of chance. No, there were 50 some left.
And they could
all
choose
3 of them could
things.
choose. You could choose. Raise your hand. Do you want to be the chance group? Raise your hand. Do you want to be in the physical group, or do you want to be in the mental group?
So
mental contest kind of.
So really, the stupidest thing to do is, well, okay, I would say if you feel like you're not very smart or not very physical, yeah, I guess chance is your best bet. Yeah, I mean, so I can't really.
Well, let's talk about that because
they got very screwed on that.
Okay, the mental. Okay, the mental. So you should be intelligent. I don't know if that did they call it mental challenges. So they first had everybody do an IQ test.
Yes. And if you got the worst of that, you're literally out.
End.
Oh, that's you kind of feel bad.
Yeah. If you got the worst, you were out because they had an odd number,
away,
and they had to have an even number. So they eliminated one person with the IQ test. So then they had 18 to 20 people, and they had them line up in order of high IQ to low IQ.
And we were quickly to point out that this doesn't mean you're going to be good at trivia because it was doing trivia.
So the highest IQ person starts, and they were able. There was going to be a trivia game,
And they're thinking,
and they're able to. They picked the lowest IQ person.
yeah,
And the trivia
I
question
can
came up,
outsmart them.
and guess what?
The lowest IQ person won.
Beat them.
I think that happened back to
That
back,
happened
right?
three times, I believe.
Which was interesting. And then
They picked the second
bad-
lowest IQ, the third lowest IQ.
Then a situation of bad character came up
That's what
from
I'm
the
bringing
past.
up. That's what I'm bringing up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you want to
So
elaborate that.
in one of the previous ones, when they whittled it down to 500, they had all these rooms. Where they do it is a huge, like a warehouse building, and they had all these cubes that were like 10-foot square, maybe 10-foot cubed, or maybe 8-foot. I'm not sure. And you were put in there. 3 people were put in there, and you could have some selection on who you went in with. And these 2 brothers went in with this young single mom, and it was obvious that they were extremely devious, and they had to have a game. And then when the time expired, there was handcuffs on the wall.
They didn't really tell us exactly what they did as far as how they tricked her, though, did it?
Well,
they did show us them laughing and stuff.
They were laughing at it.
Definitely tricked her.
So one thing they did, okay, so the way the game went, if you haven't seen it, when the timer goes off, 5 hours, when the timer goes off at the end of time, one of the 3 has to be there's a handcuffs there, and you have to be handcuffed to the wall, and you have to do it yourself. So if you do a game and somebody loses, let's say you do, the easiest would be let's do rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. And one person loses and say, I'm not handcuffing myself to the wall. And you can't convince them to do it. All 3 are eliminated. If you can't pick one person and you're picked by handcuffing to the wall. And there were people that all 3 were eliminated because the person would not handcuff themselves to the wall.
One person was freaking out because they were out, and they kept on waiting.
And time expired.
Time expired. She literally put the other 2 out because
all 3 went out.
Because she was failing to put on the handcuffs.
So these 2 guys, and they're real smart butts. They're just really young, very. One is 456, and the other one is 5. No, that's not right. 556 and 406, something like that. 406. 2 brothers, and they were like if I'm the girl, the young mother, and the other guy's here, and then the other one is behind. Mm-hmm. So she couldn't see. The first thing she should have said is, okay, we have to be in a triangle so I can see both of you. And they were doing signals back and forth between each other. And they convinced her. And then one guy just said, okay, I'm not going to play this game. I'm out. I'm not going to play any game. So the other guy said, hey, now you have a 50% chance. Before it was only a 33% chance. And that is an outright lie. Because before she had a 66% chance, 2/3, 66.666, however you want to be, if you want to be really anal about it. And now, if the one guy's out, she only had a 50%. Yeah. She had a 50% chance.
I forgot that he said that. I didn't even think about
66 is higher than 50. Yeah. So her odds went down just because the one guy said. Now, if I had been in there, I would like to say, okay, if you're not participating, I'm not participating. And they had done some things previously where they were, they were just devious, and there's an honor code on these games, like Survivor.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be
it's like Survivor where you play games and people win. If you want to do it honorably, at least I would if I was involved. I don't care. You're playing for $5 million, and there's 1,000 people, and you have 0.1% chance of winning. 1 in 1,000 is 0.1%.
I would definitely try to be clever, but I wouldn't try to. I would hopefully not. I mean, they might cry no matter what. So, I mean, we really don't know exactly what happened, but he was laughing behind their back. So,
yeah,
we know
she was laughing at her. They really,
and
they
like
kind of bullied her, and they had her crying.
Yeah.
She wasn't, and they ended up having her chain herself.
So, but we
wall.
don't know exactly what happened. But then though, too, like I'm like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I know that I would try to do whatever I can do, but I wouldn't. I don't feel I would get to a point of trying to bully or just like I don't. lie. I mean, but if me and you were there with someone else, I mean, me and you would try to figure out something to convince this person to go out of there. I don't know.
Should we try? But
I think it's hard to ever say what you would do unless you're in that situation.
True.
It's just kind of crazy.
Granted. But she should have said, okay, to make this fair, we have to all three sit in a triangle, and one of you can't be behind me. And they were laughing and making snide comments at each other, and they were communicating the entire time. So she wasn't smart enough in the way she demanded it. And if I was in that group and someone said I'm out, I'm not playing any competition, I'd say then I'm out. Between the two of you, if that's how you're going to play, your brothers, pick which one of you are going to be chained to the wall, because I'm not even playing your games. And if you don't, then we're all going home. Because once they try to play that power role to you, you're helpless unless you show that you're going to do it right back to them. Anyway, so the two brothers made it to the mental, and they both picked the mental contest. And the one got the younger one, the one who said he wasn't going to participate. He got eliminated. He didn't get the trivia right. And then the next guy that was the next intelligent, and he said, I'm not picking the dumbest or the lowest intelligence person. I'm picking that guy. Because 406, because I want to get him out because he's dishonest and he doesn't have a reputation in there being a dishonest player. He says, I don't care if I win. My number one goal is to get this guy out. And so he called him up there. And he's on Instagram. He's got a Arabic name. I think he's from Egypt, I think. And he's proudly saying he's player 406 in Mr. Beast games. And some of the posts that he made even before Mr. Beast games say, you do you and I'll be better. So the guy is an arrogant young guy. He's just very, very full of himself. He has been before he even joined Mr. Beast games. So the question came up, and I don't like this guy. And the editing for Mr. Beast, they were in there 5 hours and they only show a certain part. So the Mr. Beast editors, whoever they are, I'm sure it's not Mr. Beast himself, they edit it to make him out like a villain. Was he really, like you said, was he really a villain? We don't know. But the editing made it seem like he was a villain. So I went along with that and I said, you want me to think he's a villain? Okay, I'm going to say he's a villain. So, and maybe he's a great guy, but just the editing made it seem like he was. And so the question came up, trivia question. Which team, which NBA team has 18 championships? And number 406 hit the buzzer first. And he goes,
says, Lakers.
Wrong. And then the other guy had all the time in the world, and he takes his time and he hits the button and he said the Boston Celtics. And I'm like, this guy's eliminated because the Celtics have four. And as a Celtics fan, by default, you have to dislike the Lakers very much.
Do they have the second most championships?
Second most. They have 17. Celtics
that
have
close.
18. That close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So they just passed them this last year. Oh, that's a big deal.
The one that LeBron won with them it was 17-16, and then in 2020 in the bubble when they won, when there was no people there to watch, because there was no attendees.
Yeah,
they were playing in a silent crowd. All you could hear the shoes creaking and stuff. That would have been really weird.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Lakers
for sure.
won in the bubble. Remember, they were down in Florida.
I forgot who had won that, but yeah, I remember I was watching some of it.
So before that, the Celtics had 17 and the Lakers had 16. So in 2020, the Lakers won, and they tied the Celtics, 17-17. And then the Celtics won to go 18-17. And that's where it's at now.
Well, goodness. Well, that as you can see, we're a fan of Mr. Beast. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's on Amazon.
I want to continue talking about
sponsored.
Mr. Beast.
Oh,
okay. My future wife.
This is the
my future
Mr.
wife,
Beast.
Mia.
Mr. Beast is engaged.
No, Mia.
Mia.
Contestant. Yeah.
Yes. Your future wife. They've been keeping in contact with each other. I'm not sure.
She hasn't found me yet. She doesn't know yet.
She doesn't know yet. She might.
She won. She's got the most expressions. Her face. She's an actress, actually. Her faces. They cut to her and she's making faces. She's
super funny, but she won the island.
She won the island, the $1.8 million island.
She had 1 in 9 chance of winning. It was crazy. Everybody else took a pass because if you go out trying to go for the island, you're completely out of the game. But if you win the island, you can just keep playing, and she's still in.
Playing. She won, so she's still in.
And she's still in right now.
And, okay, so she picked Chance. And the first thing they did, there were 16 of them, and they spun.
That was crazy.
That
and
was
there only
crazy.
4 could make it.
Only 2.
No, it was 4.
Oh, was it 4? Okay.
It went to 2, and then it came back to 4.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Spun a big wheel, and wherever it landed, that's how many was going to get.
And we were thinking 50-50, and no, it was not 50-50.
No. So
it was
they
1 in 4
immediately
chance.
eliminated 12 like that. And then they did that. So she's on to the next round. She was one of the 4 that survived.
She's a
completely
lucky
by
girl.
chance. Completely.
But a lot of it's been chance so far. I mean, like some of the games, especially when they were quickly wheeling it down. One of the craziest ones is
Then physical.
physical.
Those 3, so you could choose mental, chance, and physical.
But before that, there's been other games that are more chance, or like maybe it's just like, well, right now you got the people hanging.
Well, that's the physical.
That's the physical.
They're the thing about that. All the other ones, there's one contest
you're
and you're
putting
out.
all your trust on the one guy.
Well,
so you have
first,
chance.
You forgot the first one. There are 3 physical contests.
Right.
3. The first one was they had to pull a huge bus.
Yeah.
Or not
And the
a bus,
team
it was
losing won it.
The team that was way
crazy.
behind, they had to go over some speed bumps. It was this huge, not a bus, but like a off-road. The wheels are like 10 feet in diameter, and they had to go over this speed bump, and they were pulling it.
Yeah.
And,
it was just a 18-wheeler truck, right? No. It was a
wheel.
No, just one of those for entertainment. The what do you call them? The
monster truck.
Monster truck.
That's
it was
what
a monster
it was.
truck.
It was a monster truck, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're doing 3 contests, which seems unfair. The chances you do 1 contest and you're all the way through the next round. The mental, you win the trivia, you're on to the next round. Physical, you got to do 3 contests.
I love how they made it each,
and they did
so
it by
different.
team.
It was great.
So the first one was you had to pull the monster truck, and the one team won. And then the second one, you had to pick one champion from your group, and who could hang on the bar longest.
No, that's the third one.
Have they already finished it? What was the second one?
The second one was the running thing.
Right.
Which that evened them out.
Right,
Because I called it too, because there was so much faster. Got people on one team, which they should have won the first one anyways. So it's pretty interesting.
So the team that won was the team that won the monster truck, right?
So this is the third round.
They already finished it, did they? Or didn't they already finish it?
They left us hanging for last episode right there.
Oh,
the two
sorry.
of them, so that's where it's gonna.
Sorry.
You don't know. You can't even look it up yet because the episode hasn't come out yet. There's no way for you to know.
I defer to my lawyer.
Wait, there's no way for you to know.
Next subject.
What did you Google to be able to find that out? You'd have to be finding some leaked
There's
information.
some Reddit thread. I don't know how they know.
Oh my gosh, why are you ruining the show with a Reddit thread?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I defer to my attorney.
Tim, stop Googling. You literally had to find a leak that somebody could literally be sued for $1 million for because they signed a document that they wouldn't leak that information. That is how ridiculous this man is. I'm going to rant here for a minute. This guy, his first, I knew there was a problem during the Olympics last summer when we were watching a show and the race only takes 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds.
Like 100-meter.
100-meter dash. We're about to watch it. But what does he have to do? He has to quickly try to Google to find out who. Tim, it's going to be over in 15 seconds. Do you have to know who wins it before it even starts? It's like you can't have that expectation.
Because we were on replay. Because that was in the evening and it had been done during the day in Paris. So it was already.
I can't wait to watch the Super Bowl with you. You're going to be trying to find somebody that's been in the future and Googling, has anybody time traveled and found out who's won the Super Bowl? I really want to know. I'll Venmo you $100 right now. I have to know. Guys, this has been a wonderful podcast. I think we'll call it there. I'm starting to get a headache.
You know, my buddy Jimmy, my best friend, he's exactly the same way. He's exactly the same way. That's why we're best friends.
There's two of you?
There's two of us. When I'm reading a book I read the first quarter or third, so I know who all the characters are, and then I read the last chapter. And Jimmy does the
He's
same
not joking.
thing.
He's not joking. It's a miracle if I can sit down and watch a whole movie without. I was yelling at you. I raised my voice a slight bit last time. Tim, there's only 10 minutes left. You can Google once it's all over. Which it wraps up most of the storyline. It tells you the lines that tells you where everybody is in the future. It's a true story, Unstoppable. It's on Amazon Prime. Really good movie. Check it out if you want to see it. It's about a guy that goes to the championship of wrestling, which
I was a wrestler.
Tim was a big time wrestler, which people you wrestled in high school even went on to.
Yeah, one guy went and won two Olympic medals.
And you used to beat him.
Beat him a couple times.
Just beat him a couple times. But that shows
he
you.
beat me too. You know, we traded.
But that's just cool that you had wrestled somebody that had gone to Olympics. And
that doesn't mean I could have done. I mean, you know,
right.
Yeah, he ended up. He just continued.
Potential was there.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
That's crazy. He was from another school that you had.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, how did I get off the subject? But yes, Tim drives me crazy. Well, yeah, last night, with Unstoppable, I was like, I'll look up something. I'd like to know all the details too, but at least can we finish the movie? Finish the movie. Feet sick.
I'm sorry, nephew. I'm sorry.
Like,
it's a fatal flaw. I'm sorry.
No. Amazon. The Mr. Beast games is the line. They're not. Those leaks aren't even supposed to be out there. The episode hasn't come out yet. They signed NDAs for a reason. I mean, you could get somebody sued, I guess. I mean, and get us some.
I didn't say anything. I'm keeping it secret.
You know, just you saying I'm not going to say anything just rubs me even the wrong way. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Are you upset, Seth?
You can make a good, big, large clip out of this. Me, Seth going insane. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to call this podcast, and it's not going to be good.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Guys, if you forward it to the end of this podcast, you'll see where I punched him in the nose.
Hey, explain your T-shirt. What does that mean?
First cruise.
Yeah.
Oh,
what does it mean?
it's a joke that goes back from cruising. We just decided to make a funny shirt to mess with people on cruises, and because we've been on a lot of cruises, and just wear a cruise that says first cruise, and which is pretty funny because some people would just like affectionately be like, "Oh, congratulations on your first cruise," and it becomes a joke too. Where like Dangle has won for the most days on a cruise, and he walks up on stage with a shirt that says first cruise.
Yeah, he usually wins the award. They give an award every week for who has been on the most cruise days, and he usually wins. He's
won
over 800.
quite a few. He's won quite a
now.
few, but yeah.
My favorite story though is, and I may have told this before. He was on a cruise, and. See, because he's been on so many cruises, he knows the captains, he knows the entertainment director, he knows the food service director, he knows...
Especially on his favorite ship.
And especially his favorite ship, Valor. He loves Valor, Carnival Valor. Anyway, he was on probably Valor, and he was wearing his first cruise shirt, and he's friendly, he meets people, and the first day, he's sitting... This is the way I remember the story. I think pretty sure I'm pretty accurate in retelling it. And he was sitting at a table, and this other woman with her family or whatever, she started pontificating about how many cruises she's been on, and I met the captain, and I know the captain, and blah, blah, blah. And Daniel's just, smiling. And while they're sitting there and she's saying that, the actual captain walks by and turns around and sees Daniel, says, "Daniel, I didn't know you were on this cruise." And he gives him a hug. He didn't say a word to that woman. So did she really know him, or was he just talking? She stopped talking very quickly.
That's so funny. I forgot about that one. That's good. Yeah. Oh, man. There's the time too where like he was about to. We were at the Diamond and Platinum party, and he orders a drink and they ID him, and there's this black lady sitting behind him just observing what's going on, and then they ID him for a drink, and then he wins the award for most cruise days. This lady starts laughing her ass, ask her gluteus maximus.
PG.
She had a pet donkey with her that laughed a lot, and she started laughing so hard because she said the guy that just won the most days just got ID'd.
He does have a baby face.
He does have good-looking young face.
Young face, not baby. Probably young face.
But he did have a cute baby face. Here we are. So, yes, you're cute with a baby face. You got a cute little baby face. I was like, any pictures I can always tell when it's him. I was like, I was the ugliest baby. And I probably wasn't. I wasn't that ugly a baby, but once you see Dangle's little cute little pictures, like it was like I was definitely an ugly little baby. He just had the cute thing.
Weren't.
He had the cute thing going for him. You just wait. I'll show you some pictures, and you'll be like, no, Chef, you look cute. Guys, that's enough of this podcast. I can't get any more sicker or be any more annoyed than this podcast. This is the bottom of the barrel, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time, where I will try not to get a headache during the podcast and enjoy Tim's observation of the future and things that haven't happened yet. Guys, thanks for watching. Please, if you're on Facebook watching us, please share it with your friends on your timeline. We'd really appreciate that. That gets us out there. More people watch.